Hey there, it's Eugenio here, and today I really want to speak about one of the topics that I'm most motivated to actually speak about since I actually launched my YouTube channel not too long ago. One thing I really want to cover is because at the end of the day, right now I see a lot of people speaking about the amount of money you make, the amount of growth, all of this kind of things, but I really want to speak about the price you have to pay to achieve that. Because I've already been for a fair amount of time in this space. I've kind of seen how this goes. I've been able to scale, not up to where my end goal is, because the end goal is to build a multi-million-dollar businesses in plural. But right now we're at a multi-six-figure project, which is very cool, and that was one of the initial goals. So in case you're wondering why on earth should I listen to this guy, well, I'm Eugenio Zabell. I'm the CEO and founder of Worko Incubator, where we add an extra 30 to 100k in monthly recurring revenue for our clients in 6 to 9 months, and up to the extent where we've already generated more than $12 million for our clients worldwide. So let's get straight into it, because since I actually started, it was a while ago. When I actually started, for example, with a business partner. I started off with one of my best friends, and we started off initially, and we were able to grow it up to a pretty successful place. Not where we wanted to, because I think you're never at the place you want to be, but to a pretty decent spot. Over time, he ended up dropping off, which was a big hit for me, and unfortunately, he dropped off the moment this really started to skyrocket. Because the moment he dropped off, this really took off and it started to grow. That's one of the things I wanted to cover, no? Not only that, but I think when you're really trying to build something, not maintain, but when you're trying to build something, like 100% of your time, energy, and focus has to go into it. Therefore, for example, today is a Sunday. Yesterday was Saturday, and the day before it was Friday. And what I've done the whole weekend, Saturday I tried to rest, and I've basically been resting at home. I haven't even met up with friends. I haven't gone out for a beer. I haven't gone out to party. I went out for dinner on Friday, but I was home very early because I was really tired of the whole week. But at the end of the day, when you really want to build something, it does have a price. That's the point I really want to make. Because many times you just see the outcome, but you don't see what's the price people pay for it. One of the prices you really have to pay, well, for example, my prices, I've really shortened my group of friends. Before starting this, I probably had a very big group of friends, as you tend to have when you're pretty young. And now I literally have a very small group of friends, which I actually prefer, to be honest, because that really showed me who are my real friends. And that really makes a difference. Who will go through when you're not all day partying or drinking alcohol with them or just doing dumb shit. So that's something you need to bear in mind. Like, if you have a lot of friends who will be willing to cut anywhere between 80 to 90% of your initial group and stay with 10 to 20%, which as I said, I personally prefer it, but it's something you need to be willing to do, because you don't have time to really be meeting up with 10 different groups. And if you do, I can assure you your business will not thrive. And I can 100% guarantee it to you, because I've tried it. I've tried it a lot, and I've said, okay, I'm going to try to integrate, I'm going to try to do this, that, blah, blah, blah. It's not possible. Well, it hasn't been possible for me. If it's for you, please drop me in the comments and let's have a chat, because it will be great to know. Not only that, but also, well, as you can see, I'm in my early 20s, and a question I get asked a lot is, do you have a girlfriend? Well, for example, in my case, I don't. I've been a couple of years without having a girlfriend, and that's one of the other prices I've had to pay. I've really taken that very seriously. I think it's something that can really help you. I do agree, but it has to be the right person. And to find the right person, you need to have the time to look for it. And I haven't had that time. So it's not something bad. Thankfully, I'm very happy on my own, and I think that's a very good thing. And I really like that. But I do think it's something you need to be aware of. Like, you cannot have a girlfriend that you're just going to be seeing her 3 hours per day, just watching Netflix or doing whatever it is. Like, that's not the case. However, I must say, if you're in your early 20s, I would 100% guarantee that you should focus on other things, honestly. Because let's face it, like, girlfriends come and go. And if you're in your early 20s, or if you're a teenager, or if you're even in your late 20s, like probably she can potentially not be in your life in the next 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 years. So I do think at the end of the day, you really need to prioritize your dreams and your goals in front of anyone. I think that's what really matters, because I've seen this, like, of my friends, like all our parents are divorced, my parents are divorced too. So if you invest your whole life into marrying someone, like putting all your time and effort into it, to later getting divorced, well, I think you'll really regret that. Like if you have to sacrifice your own goals for someone else, I think that's a big price to pay. Like for example, in my case, I really want to try to have a marriage that allows me to be like my whole life. I'll work a lot and very hard to be able to achieve that. But I do think that you need to have that own satisfaction on your side, achieving what you really want, your goals in life. Because I think that's such a high price to pay. If you're 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, you will regret that every single day of your life. If you say, I would have loved to do that. A story I like to tell, like the reason I go so hard with entrepreneurship at this age is for one main reason. And that's because when I was young, my dream was to be a tennis player. I wanted to be a tennis player. I trained like crazy. In summer, I went to a camp, which was like 5 hours per day playing tennis. So that gives you kind of an idea of how seriously I took it. And when I became a teenager, well, that kind of changed because I became a bit of an idiot, like all teenagers are. And I gave up my dreams to be able to party, have girlfriends, be with 1,000 friends, all these kind of things. And honestly, it's something I regret so much. And I regret every single day. And each time I put a tennis match and I see, for example, now Carlos Alcaraz, I'm from Spain, and this guy's crushing it. And I see that and I say, man, I could have been that guy. And I know I could have, because I was good, but I just let distractions get in the middle of my goal. And that's something that's very high price to pay. And each time I doubt myself and I say, man, why are you just working so hard? You could just go enjoy and do this and do that and blah, 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 and spend the money you make and all these kind of things. Well, I just remember that. And that's honestly like getting an energy boost to make sure I achieve my dreams. Because the price is high. The price is high. You won't even be able to spend as much time with your family as you would like. I personally prioritize that a lot, but it's something that can happen. There's a price to pay. But if you're willing to pay the price and not give up, then you've already won 50% of the battle. If you pay the price, you have to be sure you make it worth it. So you cannot be procrastinating. You cannot be doing dumb shit. If you pay the price and you're willing to do all of that, don't get distracted on dumb stuff. Focus on building that you actually dream of and what you've sacrificed so much to be able to achieve that. So those are some of the main things. There's a lot more, but I do think those are the main things to stand out. How everything does have a price. And many times you see, hey, you're traveling to this place, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're blah, blah, blah. But all of that comes at a price. So when you're really spending a lot of time doing something, I must say that you better fall in love with the game. Because if you just focus on the outcome, and this is a trap I many times fall into, I just focus on reaching this amount of revenue, of doing this, of growing that amount, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, you reach that point and you say, okay, and now what? Because yeah, it's 30 minutes, 1 day, 1 week of glory that you feel insanely well. But at the end of the day, you need to love what you're doing and fall in love with the game, because the game is the real reward, not the outcome. So I really hope this is helpful. I really like to give a fresh perspective on how I like to handle things, on how my journey has been, and to really show you that this is not all shiny, it's not all money, it's not all growth, it's not all fancy trips, it's not all of this. There's a lot of things that are on the back end and a lot of sacrifices that has to be done to be able to achieve cool stuff. But it's so fucking worth it. That's my point. Other people will say the opposite, but it's so worth it. So I really encourage you to make your own conclusions and do whatever you think is the best thing. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, I really encourage you to like the video, subscribe, so you can help me out, hopefully as much as I've helped you out. And I wish you an amazing day. Bye-bye.